Bitcoin once again making new highs for the year, new highs to date at least. And the next question is, what's the next major objective? Well, we've been looking at several models within this channel, and several of them essentially just kind of coalesce in the same regions. So I wanted to follow up on some of the higher term timeframes that we've been looking at. It's required, of course, some patience, but of course, that's why we also reference these statistics and understand what sort of time frame we're looking at, of which we're probably in the heart of this move as we speak. Anyways, other than that, I'm going to walk you back to the Krown Crypto channel. One little reminder that the Jewel Light has now been combined into a package with several other indicators for Chart Prime. It's a completely separate offer, I should say. The reason is because they have their own indicators, of course, and then also I've been adding my own indicators to it, like my own, the ones that I had like the idea for. Obviously, I didn't code them. I'm not a coder, but I can have, I'm an idea guy. I'm not a coder guy, unfortunately. But yeah, that's available to you in the link in the description below. You can also try it for free for 14 days, and there you go. All right, sweet. Let's just jump right into it, starting off right over here with the 5-day time frame, which just closed last night. Many things of extreme significance here. Okay, where do we start? I guess first things first, Bitcoin did close its first 5-day time frame above that white moving average, which is a 200 simple moving average for the first time basically since the Luna dump in May/June of 2022, where Bitcoin really went into this, nasty area that we've been looking at for, the past year and a half now. The reason why this is significant is, one, because it has reclaimed that region, but two, if we go throughout the full history of Bitcoin, we can see that generally that white 200 simple moving average has gotten that sort of accumulation region coming after the parabolic dumps, essentially the bear markets, after Bitcoin, craters to the ground and then goes through that long form sideways accumulation. And so I'll bring you back to our first official iteration, which was right over here in 2015. Yes, it's not going to be exactly perfect. You see a slight closure above right here, but of course did not maintain it, and all major moving averages were, in a bearish posturing during that portion as well. So a completely different sort of look than what we're looking at right now, not to use a redundant term. But as you can see, Bitcoin spends about a year from January 2015 all the way to November 2015 under that region, and then busts on through. All major moving averages go into a bullish posturing and upwards and onwards throughout the next market cycle. And then what do you know? Yet again, in 2018, Bitcoin breaks it on the slump below $6,000, spends about, actually not that much time below there, about November 2018 all the way to or through March of 2019, basically into April, and then shoots on up. It even uses that as support on that first major move down from the June 2019 highs. Yes, it did break once again below it in the Rona dump, as you can see right here, but once it did reclaim, that was a pretty damn good signal that, well, it was all bull ahead after that, actually. Just say, I'm just reading the charts. That's all. I'm not saying that that's we're gonna get one of these biblical rallies right here, but it's a pretty damn good indication of where Bitcoin is at, phasally speaking, if that makes sense. Like when you're below it, it's time to be maybe considering accumulation. Yeah, I can spend a lot of time below it, year or more, as we have seen in the past. But once it gets above it, generally it's a sideways and upside market. And in this case, we do see Bitcoin's first move and closure back above it as of last night's closure. So this current one, yes, is coming back down to test it, which is currently at 34,550. So back test somewhere around there, completely fine. But if this is going to hold true through now, we would expect Bitcoin to remain on a 5-day closing basis above that 34,550 pivot. Again, back testing that region, completely fine. Closing below it, that's where questions start to emerge, especially if it started to close massively below it. But we can also see that the moving average itself has flattened out here after being actually very slightly negative for just a few closures. So of interest. Anyways, moving on now, do we want to say anything more on this chart? Yeah, the 5-day hidden bullish divergence played out right there. Nice. Okay, we got that. 5-day jewel continues. Yes, we also got that. Let's go into the heart of this one. So the next objective to the upside is going to be based off of the volatility versus stochastic momentum chart. We've been referencing this one for a long time. This particular iteration was probably the most painful and patience requiring one yet, but it has played out yet again after a very long lull at extreme lows for volatility. So extreme lows on volatility below about 15 percentile correlated with the direction of the stochastic oscillator has led to an average move of around about 40% over the course of 37 days. That's if we include all of the movements, both the upside and the downside. But if we go over here, I have gone through and looked at only the upside movements from this particular setup, and out of 11 historical iterations, which now there are 12, 100% of the time it actually has worked out in that direction. So whichever direction the stochastic oscillator was pointed is the way that price action did go. Well, obviously to the upside. So if it was pointed up, it went to the upside 100% of the time. It's not going to work like that the whole, for forever, but for now still does, which is good. The average amount of time taken to the next major high, not to mention that you can't see continuation from this, just the next major high before consolidation was about 33 days with the standard deviation of 10 days. So giving us a range between like 21 days or, just 23 days and 43 days, right? But again, the average at 33 days, keep that one in the back of your mind's eye. And the average return being about 43%, again, standard deviation over here, about 10% as well. So let's put that into context now. Where did this one officially get born? It officially got born right here. And we are now working on the 20th day period for this one. So in the next closure, which is in 5 days, basically, that'll be day number 20. And so far we have seen from setup given to next high, 35.5%. So it is getting pretty close to that average at 43%. Just to put that into context, what would 43% look like on from that area? That put Bitcoin at about $38,000, which is the breakdown region from May of 2022, actually, and also I believe one of the major fibs within that region as well. So that'd be still the next major region, and I'd really have like a zone there, somewhere between like 38, maybe even all the way up to like 39 or $40,000. You don't know where a stray wick can land, and again, this is just speaking about the next major consolidation. It doesn't mean that things are going to reverse. It has no implication as to whether things reverse from there or continue from there. Another signal can emerge from there, and then we just get new targets basically. But it would say that we're getting pretty close to the totality of this setup. So again, the next period, the next closing period, which will be officially, it'll be officially what? Okay, this. No, damn it. Yeah, the 7th of November. So that will be next week, Tuesday next week. That is actually, and around there that will be day number 20. So if we go for the average amount of days taken at 30 or just above 33, or that would put us somewhere around the middle of November. So there are still things that say that this rally can continue on higher. Again, we're looking at averages right here. If we go ahead with the first deviation, we could see a move as great as like 53%, and that would not be anything like crazy out of the ordinary. But let's actually see, what would 53% look like? Yeah, that put Bitcoin at $41,000. So basically what I'm trying to say is that it's reasonable to say that this rally continues, all things considered, into the next couple of weeks here, into the heart of November. We've already seen a great portion of it, certainly. In fact, likely the majority of the move already, but probably still some more on top of that. Also of note here, we did see that the 5-day stochastic oscillator has officially closed above that long-term regression that it's been living under ever since the highs were put in from the April rally. So the April rally, and then again the July rally right here. So we have a change of behavior as well from that metric after getting the double dots of destiny down here, which was also another indication that this one was probably going to go up. Anyways, okay, we can go ahead and check out actually one of the indicators on that chart prime deal, which again does come with the jewel light and several other things as well. A couple of indicators that I've actually provided the idea for, like the daily range statistics. Just giving you an idea of how many days or what days close positively or negatively, and the average returns for that. Anyways, the hourly time frame, we did see that there was a strong bias here yesterday. Told you to sell a little bit later, slight gain it looks like, and then a strong buy actually right before this rally began. So not bad right there. Anyways, we'll just continue to update on this one. I don't expect this to be perfect, and I did not provide the data for this particular one myself. So it's not me. It's just I don't have as much, I don't have the. I just don't have the. What the fuck is the word that I'm looking for? I don't have the connection to it as much as my own beautiful indicators, my statistically based indicators, but it looks like it's actually working nonetheless, which is decent. Anyways, okay, what else do we have? Yes, let's go ahead and check out the HPDR. The bands, what do you know? Bitcoin, as the blue range stepped up, did test the top side of the 50% of historic returns range highs yet again. We can see that wick actually perfectly there, about just below, actually just above $36,000. So far, short-term rejection, yes, but as we said before, anything above 34.5 is going to be considered short-term bullish for Bitcoin now. Looking at our indicators here, what do we see? Volatility is still cooling off, so it still could fill out this range a little bit more, to be fair. And the directional oscillator is starting to really reset here as well. This, by the way, these will be available soon. We're still looking at like the middle of November, but I'm really excited for these ones because I think these are just fucking amazing. This will be different than, of course, the Chart Prime thing, just because the Chart Prime thing is, it's connected with their stuff, and that's more of a subscription. This one's going to be just one-time payment, and this is just, to me, so fucking cool. I even show you some of the other stuff that we got going on here. Oh, what do you know? We have some cones. We have some cones going on. Bit of a forwards projection as far as what the ranges will be. This actually, to be honest, this will be very, very useful for options trading. If you're not options trading, I don't know how useful it's going to be. But it does look cool, and it looks really, really pretty. Of course, you already know the bands, HPDRO, HPDRV. This is just another volatility indicator right here. I think it's more accurate, technically speaking, than BBWP, although BBWP still gets the job done, to be honest with you. HPDRO, directional oscillator. This one's been very interesting to watch as time goes on, because it has provided some good biases on directional movements. And I'm actually in the process of creating some strategies around it, which are showing some early promise. At least they're showing better results than the base HPDR, and using it in that format. So it should be a nice step up, but of course I want to verify these results over a little bit longer of a period of time, but so far so good. Anyways, looking at stochastic momentum, let's go over here. Start off with the 2-day time frame, because we already looked at the 5-day, and there's really nothing to update there from 5 seconds ago. But the 2-day time frame is showing still upside above 33,550. Again, critical zone here. That does make me consider, like, hey, this current rally, like a couple more, it's the vast majority of it is done, most likely, before the next major consolidation. Daily time frame going to be turning down below 35,750, which actually CME right now is still above, but just by ball sack hair. 12-hour time frame is going to be also turning down below 36,300, again coming off of extremes right here. Shorter term time frames do look like they want to come down. 6-hour time frame also coming down below 36,200. 4-hour time frame technically up above 35,400, but looking a little bit weak there, to be fair. Does have this nice trendline regression, so maybe another regression somewhere around here, and then another try to the upside. But that obviously would imply some sideways and down in the more interim. And then the hourly time frame going to be headed down here below 36,500. So other than that, I don't really have too much to add. Putting all the puzzle pieces together, it still says higher term time frames good, lower term time frames / medium term time frames probably play out a little bit of sideways into the weekend. And if we're going to get another move, I suspect that it happens coming into next week, not necessarily right now. Maybe there's a push on Friday, but if it's going to be the weekend, probably seeing a lot of sideways there is what I would expect. So other than that, I'm going to welcome you back. Holy shit, my brain is not working anymore. I've trained it out of existence now. Jesus, man, this is concerning. With that said, I'd like to wish you the best of the best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully on the next day, whatever that might be. Yes, all right, take care.